Oh, baby. The Philadelphia Fusion are on a roll. They are able to take that match against the Florida Mayhem 4-0. And that is a clean 8-0 on the week. They are really starting off this stage with a bang. All right, so up next, we have the Houston Outlaws going against the Boston Uprising. These two teams recently faced off for a spot in the Stage 1 playoffs, but it was Houston who were able to edge out the Uprising in a close 5-match bout. I think it's safe to say that the Uprising are probably going to be out for revenge today. Hey, yo, Blizzard Arena, y'all ready for this one? I'm with them, so you know what? Let's go ahead and get this thing rolling.
And while this is looking like a fantastic turnaround here for Boston.
Good way to start this push here for Houston Outlaws.
Big kill and the follow-up pulse. Striker already styling.
Jake is just wrecking everybody at this point.
Casper is the first man on the trigger.
Houston has brought the defense.
Austin, it feels like they are very much in control of the situation.
But somehow, Houston are still finding kills. Oh, that was close.
Last time around, this one went to a game 5, but now we're in stage 2. It's a new meta and a brand new day. Welcome back to the desk. It's Puckett here with Bren. We got Crumbs, and Zoe is with us once again. Zoe, you just got a chance to talk with EQO. Pretty cool kid.
He is. He really is. Actually, prior to that interview, people warned me. Were like, hey, he's a really shy boy. And he was just talking and chattery even prior to the interview. That was a real pleasure, and I love the insight he gave us, too.
And if you guys missed it, of course, we just saw Philadelphia winning the first match of the day. But as always, we're going to have 3 for you here on Saturday. Philly gets the win, 4-0 over Florida. Now we have Boston versus Houston, and a little bit later, we see the Dragons matching up against the hometown crowd. Anyone excited for the Valiant? All right, there's a few people cheering. Let's get everybody cheering now as we welcome our first team to the stage for this matchup. It's the Boston Uprising. Boston, honestly, one of my favorite squads to watch in the Overwatch League. They started off slow in stage 1, but really started to generate some momentum at the end towards the playoffs. But coming into their first matchup, they dropped all 4 maps to Philadelphia.
They did. They had a few bright moments from individuals, but overall, the synergy, the coordination I praised about them like earlier in their match was nowhere to be seen. They were just they looked slow to adapt to this meta, honestly.
Well, they played against Philly, and we just saw what Philly did to the Mayhem. So I think I'm going to hold off on some judgment on this squad because I think that the Philadelphia squad was just on an absolute tear, that it's going to be very difficult to judge how the Boston Uprising were playing off of one game. Today, I think will be a better indication of what they've got to bring for stage 2.
And me personally, Crumbs, I'm going to be taking a look at Gamsu very closely alongside Kalios. The tank play is really where a lot of these games are now going to be decided. And if the tanks on the one side are going to be playing better than the Houston side, a tough ask, but definitely Gamsu and Kalios are more than capable of bringing it to.
Yeah, something to note here. Note is on the bench. Kalios back in. We've been watching these two off-tanks swap in and out. Will Note be seen? We'll find out in just a few moments. For now, though, we have to introduce the opposition for Boston on the right side of the stage. Give it up for the Houston Outlaws. Houston fell short in the stage 1 playoffs, but they got a big win over London. That one went 3-2 earlier in the week. What was the difference this time around?
They looked really, really comfortable, not just on the maps, but also on the on the meta right now. And Jake came prepared. His chunk rate has been a key factor for the Outlaws' success in stage 1. But in stage 2, he's now been shifting his focus and looked incredible, solid on his Tracer when he played that game against the London Spitfire. So, you know, he's just not a one-rat rodent.
And it's not just Jake as well that we need to look at. Linkser as well. This guy is absolutely incredible. I say it every single time he comes up on the screen, but for very good reason. And there he is, the man himself. And I gotta say as well, this meta game that we're seeing right now is the exact same way he flourished in Contenders Season 1. And honestly, I'm expecting him to go even further up.
There you go, Muma. We'll figure it out later.
So close.
Crumbs, what are you pumped about when you watch this team?
What they do on camera, of course. But what I like about this team is the fact that they pride themselves on work ethic, really. They just say, you know what, we're going to train harder than anybody else. It's a simple formula for them. They recognize their issues and they work hard towards it, and it seems like they are a team that go above and beyond what is asked for them, and I think that's what's given them these crazy results, and I expect this team to just be on a trajectory really high up in the standings.
Some of the best hair and best gameplay in the game right now. That is a look at the Houston Outlaws, and we have to talk big picture here. If London is better than New York, which we saw yesterday, and Houston is better than London, is Houston the team to beat in the league right now?
I think they are. I actually think that not only is Houston the team to beat, but by the end of stage 2, they will be definitely in playoffs, definitely in the finals, and maybe even winning the whole thing.
Bren, do you agree with my crazy logic?
I'm going to play devil's advocate here. I don't know if I quite agree with that logic that Houston are going to be the team to beat. Of course, I'm going to be bringing it. Don't you worry, Crumbs. It's all coming in time, lad. Don't try and pressure me.
He's got to set himself up.
I've got to set myself up. But Houston, yes, they're a good team, but are they capable of beating up some of these teams that we've seen on a numerous levels here, like London, like Seoul, you know, like New York as well, that have shown themselves to be consistently high level? Yes, I think Houston are capable, but are they going to have the synergy coming in later into the league? That's the real question mark for me. Are they going to get figured out?
The issue is synergy. Nobody even figured them out by stage 1. I think that this team has been recognizing where they were faltering before. Especially, I think what surprised me the most is that initially you thought it was, oh, only Junkrat, but now he's got the Genji, he's got the Tracer. They've definitely expanded their hero pool. We even saw them bring out Hanzo in King's Road to great success. I think this team actually understands the game to a point where it's giving people way more trouble than it should be, and that's why.
You also have to take into account that they are bringing in reinforcements also, so they are actively working on getting fanfiction into the lineup as well. That's going to make a big difference, and just the individual skill of those players and how well they work with each other. They have a lot of experience. And
let me front you a quick question here, Crumbs.
There we go.
Can Jake beat Fleta in a 1v1 scenario? Any scenario.
This game's not a 1v1.
Brent, I got a better question for you.
Come at me.
Can Jake beat Dreamcasper? Because that's the DPS he's going up against today. Or do you have to be more afraid of Striker from the Boston Uprising?
You're asking me this question?
Yeah.
I feel like you need to be scared of Striker here. And these Tracer 1v1s, I mean, we've seen it. The evidence is there. The Tracers now are having an absolute nightmare in this current metagame. If you get backed up by your team, Striker more than capable of bringing it to Jake in this matchup.
Yeah, but honestly, I would, in this scenario, I'm gonna give Jake the edge, because Jake is that one Tracer no one really has figured out yet. He doesn't have an exact style just yet, so no one really knows what Jake is gonna throw at them.
I think Striker would win that 1v1. We'll see if it plays out. Is Jake even running Tracer today? Let's find out right now as we send it backstage. Monty and Doa are on the mic.
To get things started between the Boston Uprising and the Houston Outlaws. This is going to be a really interesting matchup, right? Because Boston coming off of losing pretty hard to Philly, Houston coming off of a huge win against London. So Boston really looking to improve, Houston looking to stick with it. But it was only one match, right? It was only the first match of the new stage, the first match in the new meta. I feel like this match could really go either way yet.
Yeah, I think it can, especially because we saw something very different from Boston in their first match here in Stage 2. We thought this was a team that had been showing a lot of strength in the dive, and they came out with a lot of poke compositions. So Soldier Tracer or Widowmaker Tracer in their debut in Stage 2, which is not something that we've seen a ton of from them in the past, and they seem to really struggle against Philadelphia. Obviously, though, Philadelphia coming out very strong in our first week back.
I mean, I think the hallmark of Boston's play throughout Stage 1 was how they evolved as a team strategically, and if they can keep that kind of thing up, then that first loss that they had against Philly isn't going to matter much, because they're going to win a lot more. But they really kind of need to show some of that here against Houston, who is already looking like a top 4, top 3 team this stage, no doubt.
Yes, as people were very quick to remind me on Twitter yesterday, because it was I who said that they would be dipping in performance on watch points. So far, that hasn't been true. Honestly, Houston looked great against London. They've started to use clockwork a little bit more. We saw him play against London. We're going to see him here in the first map right now.
I mean, another day in the Overwatch League. The sun rises and Monty and Rage is Houston fans. So there you go. That's how it goes.
It's okay. I mean, they've been playing well, and I loved seeing a lot of their strategies, especially that Hanzo that we saw Linkser run on attack all the way through King's Row. Certainly a possibility to see yet again, as it will be our third map played in this set. So I'm excited to see what Houston are going to bring us. It will be Banny on the Ana, so Tracer Soldier on the defense.
Sure.
And Boston Uprising, we'll see what they end up with in the end. Dreamcasper, it's going to be important to see which hero he swaps to as to which tactic and approach they are going to take. Could be a Roadhog here, or could be a Genji. We'll take a Genji.
Here we go, guys. Boston Uprising on the attack here on Hanamura. Houston Outlaws defending. We'll see what sort of pace Boston can set, not just for this map, but for the match. Milling around the door for the moment. And Neko on that Moira. Interesting addition. They're going to go in a death ball, try to use that AoE healing. Getting in the back lines is Gamsu already a little bit. Has some support, but no! Goes down alongside a Dreamcasper almost immediately.
And that's the reason why you defended that location when you have the option.
Oh, Raucus!
Raucus gonna fall,
bit of
but
trouble here.
Striker's gonna get pushed out, back off the point eventually here.
Oh, that's right, but you know, getting Raucus is pretty nice actually for Boston, because it does take a while for that Zenyatta to walk back there. So, you know, I guess Boston, they're still going to be without Striker, so maybe not able to capitalize on that one right now with the closer spawns, but you get that one a little bit later, it might work out.
It's interesting to me that Boston is sticking with this dive composition because you don't know the Ana's there, but when you try and dive into this back corner and the biotic grenade comes in, you need to eat it with the defensive matrix.
Now Kumat demeched already, Striker coming in, ooh, there's a pulse bomb, is it gonna work? No, it doesn't. Lynx are getting some kills instead, Kelix does fall, Striker scrambling to make a difference in this back line here. But it looks like Houston, unless Striker, can turn it around. Although Dreamcasper may take it on himself here. He does take out Coolmat. Linkser, though, has that nano boost now. Going back to defend at the point. It looks like they barely held on for the moment.
Linkser had the tactical visor in order to push back that attack and force everybody on Boston to run for cover within the buildings. Everyone from the side of the Outlaws should be rejoining momentarily. So Boston has not really found any purchase yet. Neko going to be over on this Zenyatta now, so looking to get some more range damage down, realizing they can't just death ball the back corner.
Yeah, and as the dive comes in, Dreamcasper causes a bit of a distraction on the point right now, gaining some control percent. Lost a bit of health, but he's got the Dragon Blade. Exits after getting the first tick. That is pretty big. Neko falls, and now here comes a raging Muma on that Winston. Dreamcasper trying to get out of it. Only 4 HP remaining, and he's going to get roasted. Meanwhile, Boston trying to find some sort of purchase on the point. They do get Bonnie, and Raucus gets booped off as well. Both supports down for Houston. Boston might be able to grind this one out. Oh, I don't know, though. Cool, man. Clockwork picking up a little bit more, and Muma still on the point. Spent some time in that biotic field, stayed more or less healthy, and it looks like they've survived for now.
Oh, man. Cool Matt finally gets D-Mech. They have to run in there. That was actually a good play by Gamsu. Gets the D-Mech down, even if it costs him his own life. That is a very good value trade, because Cool Matt has to throw himself off, or he has to go back into the base right now. He actually going to stick around and try and charge up that ultimate, get his mech back the hard way in the mini diva form, but Gamsu's going to be coming back with the rest of his team, and they've got no diva suit.
Yeah, sound barrier, as this is the time Boston wants to try to push this. Linkser pops that tactical visor, trying to find some people, but Boston doing a good job of staying hidden. Dreamcasper grabs a couple kills on the outside of that fight, and it looks like Boston may have this one. I think that's going to be point A.
It will be Doa, and that was, we're going to save the Transcendence too. So they come in with the sound barrier. That play, though, was really critical by Gamsu. That's just great shot calling, because he realized how low that Diva was. We're going to take another gander here at this Dragon Blade. Everybody just trapped in a corner.
Oh, this is the Boston that we know and love. Wow, trying to carry that momentum into point B already. They go in with the Transcendence from Kalios, it looks like, from Neko rather. Dreamcasper already picking one up. There's another one to finish Cool Matt off again. Muma very low himself on that Winston, and Linkser, Genji v Genji, gonna get taken out here. Primal Rage from Muma, but again, just not a lot of HP to work with. That's one tick already for the Boston Uprising, but maybe Raucus with that Transcendence can turn it around along with the respawns. See if maybe, the self-destruct coming in, forcing Boston back just a bit.
Cool, Matt. He's going to remech.
Well, they demech him almost immediately, though, so not a huge deal there, as Boston not deterred on this point quite yet. Bonnie's scrambling a little bit, and it looks like now that Gamsu and Neko have gone down, they may have to back up and regroup here.
A very quick attack by the Boston Uprising. They'll take that one tick, though. That's not a bad result, considering how fast they were able to get to that next point, and they didn't have a huge ult advantage going in. So even getting that one tick, Kalios is not going to be desuited, so he's going to serve as an ult battery. Now, for the side of his healing supports, Kelix will get the sound barrier. as a result of that play. Rock is still working up to a Transcendence. Benny going to have to use this nano boost onto Muma. I'm going to try and go in with the sound barrier instantly.
Yeah, worked on point A. Let's see if it works here too. Raucus getting a little bit low. Striker trying to take him down. He's successful. Meanwhile, Dreamcasper again. Big Dragon Blade gets 2 kills with it. And now the Transcendence paving the way for Boston to try to steamroll the rest of this point. Bonnie between a Pulse Bomb and a Ninja Star place, and he will not survive. And that's going to be nearly it already. They just got to handle this last Coolmat and Raucus on the point. Oh, but there's a Transcendence. Houston Outlaws trying their best to just hang on. Here on point B, Banny back again, but everybody falling in that Lucio. Only so much you can do. Maze in play though, but it's not enough. That's going to be 2 points for Boston with about 2:35 left on the clock.
Very decisive attack, and Boston is returning to what they did so well last stage. Genji, Tracer, dive compositions, playing aggressively. They were stymied for a bit there on point A because they were trying to dive into the Ana grenade and got stuffed on a couple of those attacks. But beyond that, once the snowball got rolling onto point B, very difficult for the Outlaws to stop.
Well, it seems like it was really the combination of going in with the sound barrier and then having Dreamcasper come in from the flank with the Dragon Blade, and that won them the big fight on point A, and it kind of won them the fight that snowballed into a point B take as well.
Yeah, it did seem also Banny got a little bit stuck on the Ana in that second point. Wanted to use the nano boost, but when the dive is that effective and the Ana has to be a little bit more out in the open right next to the point instead of further off the point where she can fire in more safely without being next to some of those DPS heroes coming out of Boston. But you want to save that nano boost, but at the same time, sometimes you have to just flip off very quickly and try and get some healing or get onto a hero that's a little bit more effective, covering the point with a big support ultimate.
Very
instead,
true.
So.
All right, well, Boston Uprising on the defense now. Neko on that Moira for the moment. Don't know if that one's going to last or not.
Oh, I think it is going to last. They want to bait them onto the point, looks like.
All right.
More so than anything else. I wasn't really impressed with Neko's Moira at the start of their attack last time, but, you know, they're switching things up. This isn't what they played against Philadelphia Fusion when they played on Hanamura. It was basically just pure Tracer Soldier, pretty standard poke composition. Didn't really work out for them, and now they seem to be going back to something more comfortable and just trying some new strats out too with this Moira.
Sure enough, here we go. Houston Outlaws, their turn to attack here on Hanamura. Little speed boost from Banny, and he's going to swap back over to the Mercy, actually, as they move towards the point. And try to power up Linkser here on the Widowmaker, see if they can find some picks. Oh, under pressure from the Zenyatta, or from the Genji, rather, already. Meanwhile, Gamsu diving deep on the defense. Whoa, that's very bold for Boston. They are wasting no time. They got the D-Mech on Coolmat. They got a kill on Raucus as well. They lose Kalios' mech on the way out, though. Is it worth it? I don't know.
Oh, it's definitely not worth it to lose Kalios' mech right there, Noah.
That was a very bold attack.
Aggressively, because now there's this situation. Kalios has already been killed in that mini diva for Muma. Will fell rather Dreamcasper. Clockwork gets all the way back onto the point.
Uh-oh, he's already there, man. They got to do something about this. He's going to go and recall right away, wait for the rest of his team to join, and Muma's right there with a stop onto Neko. That Coalescence is up, but he can't use it, and that is a resounding team fight win for the Houston Outlaws. This point should be theirs.
Very well played. Now, they're not coming up on any big support ultimates too soon, and Linkser, even though he's close to that Infrasight, not the most impactful ult that you can have. Obviously not going to snowball potentially as hard as a Dragon Blade.
Yeah, it might be difficult to carry this one through to a quick point B, but I'll give it a shot anyway. You might as well. Come back with more ults later if you play it conservative.
Side is going to be
Calyx.
Calyx gets stomped by Muma.
Whoa, and then there goes Gamsu. Links are going crazy here. Neko pops that Coalescence, manages to roast Raucus and Banny, kills both supports with his support ultimate. Houston not done quite yet, though. They're going to keep grinding this one out, but yeah, that's going to be the end of that push. But it's okay. They only use the Infrasight on that one. They're going to have their 2 support ultimates soon. And so if you're Houston Outlaws right now, I think you're feeling pretty good.
Yeah, that's one of those times where even though it was very effective for a point A take quickly using the picks from the Widowmaker, transitioning that into another fast point B take can be very difficult. Now Linkster's going to go for the Soldier 76. On Hanamura, you really need that power to team wipe because these point Bs, of course, the respawns are so close that unless you get a big win with a sort of point-clearing ultimate, it becomes difficult.
Oh, Lynx are cleared off the map by Kalios right off the bat. How much is Houston going to push this one? They actually used a couple ultimates there. Valkyrie.
And he needs to res Linkser.
Yeah, he gets him back up instead. Gamsu tries to stop it, but he gets taken out by Raucus. That is big. Houston Outlaws coming onto the point now. They got to avoid that self-destruct for the moment. Still have that Transcendence from Raucus to use. Dreamcasper has to take a bit of a break, has to run for cover here. Raucus up on this high ground now. Clockwork taken out by a headshot from Neko, though.
And they still are building that control percent, though, Don.
Oh,
Boston
yeah.
didn't have anybody on the point. Neko is trancing on the point by himself right now, while the rest of his allies head onto that high ground. So they stop the attack. One tick goes down.
Okay, that's something.
Transcendence, though, forced out of Neko, so you'll feel pretty good about that. If you're Houston, Bammy now wants to move over to the Ana instead.
Yeah, you know, losing Linkser early on in that last fight really kind of hurt Houston. They committed some ults early on. We're planning on kind of keeping him alive, setting him up for some big plays on the high ground like we see a lot from Soldier 76 on Hanamura Point B, but good pick from Boston. Not going to save the day. Now they're going to go in aggressive again. Oh, Sleep Dart onto Gamsu. That's going to lead to the kill from Coolmat. And Boston in a little bit of trouble here.
Yeah, Gamsu got anti-healed by the Biotic Grenade, so easy focus fire, good job target selecting for the Outlaws. Coolmat going to just push Dreamcasper back right now. Neko will be rezzed on the side right here, and Linkser can't do anything about it.
Yeah, that's right. Linkser trying to chase around the outside of the fight. He's got Muma in front with that Primal Rage, trying to get Benny, maybe get, no, Kellick's taken out actually. Oh, and Muma going wild. No pun intended, but that Primal Rage is doing work for Houston. 2 ticks already, just a couple respawns remain. Dreamcasper with the solo Dragon Blade can't get anything done with that. And that may be point B. As Kellick's falls again, it will be. And Houston will finish with 3:50 on the clock. Great time for them.
Excellent poise by Raucus. He knew Dreamcasper was coming out with the Dragon Blade again, had saved that Transcendence, was standing on the high ground. As soon as he comes out of spawn, instantly knows that blade is going to be used, drops down, uses the speed boost from the Trance to get back, cover his teammates, and make sure that they're able to close the map.
Yeah. Well, Houston managing to put together some pretty strong attacks, but I think it was really the swap by Bonnie to Ana that really unlocked that for him, because you saw that deep dive come in from Gamsu, wasn't expecting the Biotic Grenade, the Sleep Dart there, and then with that man advantage, Houston able to roll the point.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that was a good adaptation because they noticed that Boston was committing to attacking that high ground with the dive, as you noticed. After a few times of it having been successful, the Houston Outlaws make that adjustment, punish them with the Biotic Grenade instead to pick off the tank and go into their attack with a big advantage.
Yeah, true enough. Muma always teasing us with that Symmetra.
He's just trying he's just trying to have the most Symmetra playtime in the league. He does come out for a second or two. He will walk out of spawn for a second or two with Symmetra and then run back in and switch back over to a tank.
He does sometimes. You know, on a Mer Point day, man, you can run that Symmetra on defense. You can do it, I'm telling you.
It's not going to happen, though. You can't make Symmetra happen.
It works in Platinum for me, all right? That's good enough for Overwatch League, right? Maybe not, maybe not. All right. Boston Uprising on the attack. They do have a little bit less time in the time bank, so they will attack first in these extra rounds here.
Making an adjustment, so they won't be running the Moira on the attack this time. Neko will be on the Zenyatta instead. Realized that they weren't going to be able to bull rush that corner with the Moira. And the healing with the Ana.
Whoa, Gamsu
gets cut down right as he walks in the door.
No kidding, walks right into the gauntlet and gets taken out nearly immediately here. Boston trying to sneak a little bit of control percentage here via Striker. They chase him off. Nice melee from Clockwork to finish that one. Time for Clockwork to make him clock out.
Yeah, he is clocked out of this life at the very least. Fortunately, he gets another shift in about 10 seconds.
That's right, doesn't take long.
So this time they're trying a different strategy. Boston is trying to wrap around with the Genji and the Tracer and follow up on a Discord Orb. So a more traditional style of dive. This time they're going to be trying for the high ground.
And here it comes.
Varying their approach.
Dive in, Bio Grenade at the feet for Bonnie to try to keep everybody alive. Gamsu falls again. Nice Sleep Dart onto Kalios as he comes in. Oh, but Coolmat maybe making a difference here. They use the Transcendence to push in, and I think that's going to be another defensive win there for Houston.
Yeah, that is good. And now Houston has realized what their tactics are. Notice how they're not playing this back corner any longer as much as they were before, and instead playing the point. As trying to attack them when they're grouped up, Now Linkser going to be on the high ground overlooking the point because they've realized that they have to go onto it right now with such little time remaining.
It's true. Now Striker trying to be a bit annoying on the outside of the fight here. Clockwork 2 HP. Ooh, he got to that health pack just in time. And Linkser greets everybody with attack visor as they try to attack. The Transcendence comes in response, and Linkser with that nano boost on the run, getting in position to get a bit of damage done with that Ana ultimate. Sets up a bunch of kills for his team, actually. And Linkser's ability to stay alive on Soldier once again helps pave the way for a lot of damage and a resounding team fight win. That was a clean sweep. 6-0 on that one.
It was a clean sweep with attack visor.
Sure was.
In all senses of the definition, clearing out everybody on the point. It's going to be a desperation attack right now for the Boston Uprising. Dream Casper with the Dragon Blade. Can he clean up the Houston Outlaws?
He's got to, man. I mean, it's all on him. Kalios has that self-destruct. He's got to try to combo that. Oh, the stick on the Kalios. Gonna go ahead and use that Diva ultimate anyway, though. Drop down, Muma caught with the self-destruct. Cool Man on the run, nearly demeched already. Gets back to the Transcendence from Zenyatta. That healing just in time. Turns it around right now. Gamsu pressuring, Fanny down. And the Dragon Blade, will it be the cleanup that Boston needs? They've got 2 ticks now. Just a bit more. Dreamcast no kills, but he managed to zone Houston off the point. They nearly got it.
Back on a Soldier, Doa. Looks like they're going to get it.
I think so. I think point A, yeah, going the way of Boston Uprising. It was close, but they pulled it off.
Wow. Just coming in. Great patience from Dream Casper. Holds the Dragon Blade just long enough to make it have value on the point, and it ensured that Raucus and Linkser couldn't contest. They had to fall back, had to just fire into the point where they could, because they weren't able to go into close range against the Blade.
Yeah, now 10 seconds left for Boston. They gotta get to point B. They are there trying to do something some work with it. Striker, Pulse Bomb, not accomplishing anything, and they can't get to the point. So Boston takes point A in time bank, but doesn't get anything on point B. Big opportunity for Houston there to capitalize, but hey, I mean, getting point A, that's nothing to be disappointed with on Hanamura.
No, not at all. And as we saw at the end of that fight, there was really no way for Boston to get back onto the point because Linkser had another tactical visor.
That's right. So let's take a second here to listen to the Houston comms at the end on point B there. See how these guys are talking to each other.
Fisher gonna break back here. I think. I'm bubble you. Get you right side. He's close right. Make sure careful. Don't sit still. I'm passing. I'm nano. I'm checking point. Running to the point. I got point. Lucio. I throw it back to me. See that? Nice. Good job.
All right, there you go. Proper communication. They knew they had an advantage to capitalize on, and they crushed it. I gotta say, like, Muma's playing posture, he just like hangs out. He's just like sitting back, relaxing. That is the most chilled pro player posture I think I've ever seen.
That's true. And for those of you who don't know the player voices, most of the comms were coming from Raucus there from the Houston Outlaws, showing he really is a core part of this team's shot calling and communication. So he had the high ground directing everybody when he had the Transcendence coming back down onto the point just to clean things up.
Yep, that's right. And here we go again. Houston on the attack, 3 minutes and 50 seconds to take point A and then get a little bit of percentage on point B to win this one. Boston, meanwhile, a full hold here could win them the map. Hanging on the side. They've got Neko back on the Moira again. And here we go. They're going to go deep one more time. That's that aggressive Boston defense. They lose Gamsu immediately. They get Raucus, though, in the process. Will that be enough to push Houston back, though? Doesn't look like it. Here come the Outlaws. Kalios and Neko both down. That Diva suit out of commission. And Cool Matt trying to get some cleanup done here as they charge on to point A. This could be disaster for Boston.
I really am not a fan of this aggressive Moira dive defense that we see from Boston Uprising, because they go in and Neko has this issue where he either has to fade into the fight and have no escape mechanism, or the tanks get focused down immediately. With the Houston Outlaws are doing such a great job of calling targets, you're going to lose your front line before you can get in range to heal. Yeah. So it's just not working. Houston has stuffed it twice now.
Indeed, Gamsu ends up being the one who dies first in a lot of these fights, and you know, it's not necessarily his fault. As we see Linkser try to get a couple shots here, it's kind of the team plan. That's the engage they wanted to do, and it's not working well. Raucus gets a D-Mech onto Kalios, and Houston Again, jumping in, they're diving. There goes Kalios, Pilot Diva out of the commission. Dreamcasper pulls out the Dragon Blade, but he is contained. Linkser right there with the headshot. And Houston already getting close. They just need that first tick and they've got it. Houston Outlaws will take Hanamura.
Great attack from Houston, about as clean as it could be. Linkser hits the necessary headshots, doesn't matter, but they don't have a DPS ult to snowball. They have the Valkyrie, they have the support ults to get the heals needed, and they take people down one by one. Houston doing a really nice job of focus firing one target at a time, and that was a big difference for them in that first map.
Yeah, I mean, that was a communication clinic from the Houston Outlaws on Hanamura, and Boston on the communication side, you kind of got to wonder what's going on over there. The dive looking a little bit rusty here. We'll see if they can patch it up as we go into map 2 after this break. Don't go anywhere, guys. This is the Overwatch League.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League. Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League. And by T-Mobile, America's best unlimited network.
스트라이커, 보스터, 업라이즈.
Striker is one of the hardest working players in this league. He just seems to outperform absolutely everyone in the server.
그 해외 팀에 들어가서 좀 걱정도 좀 많았었거든요. 그 이제 게임할 때 소통이라던가 생활할 면이라던가. 근데 게임할 때는 아직 좀 부족하기도 하지만 그래도 애들이 잘 도와주고 해가지고 괜찮고요. 생활 면에서도 제가 영어를 아예 몰라서
Surgical precision here. Striker, what a beast!
제가 좋아하는 영웅은요 트레이서고요. 그게 엄청 재밌어요. 왜냐면 전멸로 가서 상대방 진영을 흔들고 딜도 넣을 수 있고 그리고 펄스라는 궁극기가 데미지도 세가지고 그 활약이 엄청 좋아서.
And Striker just styling right now.
He is the player to look out for.
Well, there you have it, guys. Striker certainly a strong part of this Boston lineup, but you know, perhaps struggling a little bit here around what his team is trying to do, and it's very different from what we saw them do, or try to do rather, against Philly, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I like the fact that they've reverted back to more of their old style. The problem with some of their old style is that Houston is inherently, and has been throughout the Overwatch League so far, a very strong anti-dive team.
Sure.
And we really saw them adapting well around some of these attacks and dives on attack around everybody coming in at once. I'm also not sold on the Moira with the dive. I think that's a bit weird. There's a reason why we've seen the Discord Orb be so practical with dive, because it allows for much faster kills from the backline diving DPS.
Very true. And on the Houston Outlaws side, you can see Jake subbing in for Clockwork, of course. And then we also have Boink. It's a control map, guys. So, of course, Boink will join the fray and join them for Lijiang Tower.
Boink had a very strong showing in Houston's first match. He came in known as a Lucio player. Obviously, we didn't see much Lucio in stage 1, so now he really gets to spread his wings.
Well, this is a team, too, that really struggled on control maps in stage 1, and they finally did win one in pretty commanding style, I would say, on, you know, the other day. And, you know, Boink, obviously a big part of that, now gets to be on that Lucio.
They won 2. They won the tiebreaker.
That's true, yeah. They did win the tiebreaker on Ilios as well.
That's not what we expected from the Outlaws. They struggled so hard on control. It was their biggest weakness in stage 1. Could have just been the maps. Well, I mean, we still saw Ilios, and they won that one, but Lijiang here.
Lijiang was the tiebreaker last stage, so there you go.
It has been an improvement, to be sure, from the Outlaws, and I think that's covering that weakness makes them obviously much more competitive against the other top teams in this league, because being weak on control is a huge problem, because
our tiebreaker's a control.
It's a control, so you sometimes have to play 2 control maps in a match. So
it's the only map type that you potentially need to play 2 of. So if you're particularly weak on that map type, that causes problems. So that was a problem for Houston. Seems like it was getting a bit better in their match the other day. We'll see if it continues to follow that trend now as we get ready to get things started here on Control Center. That's going to be our first point between Boston Uprising and Houston Outlaws. No, you put the basketball through, not the suitcase. It's not going to fit.
So Houston has not played Lijiang in this stage. They played Nepal last time. Meanwhile, Boston did lose on it.
True.
And we are going to be in Control Center first. Boston will be going for a 3-tank look with Striker on the Tracer. So they're going to bring back the Moira, which we often see here on Control Center.
That's right. Nearly mirrored compositions. Just the Junkrat and the Tracer, the difference between the two of them.
I think I'd
go in triple tank.
I'd really rather have the Junkrat here, considering that against triple tank, you'll be charging up that Riptire so efficiently, and you also have the tools to deal with that Tracer on the flank.
Well, especially if your Junkrat is Jake, no doubt about that. Houston coming onto the point right now as it does unlock. Boston back into the hallway a little bit. Houston with the position already. Linkser takes down Gamsu. That is a big shield out of the way, and that's a bigger Earth Shatter coming in from Muma as well. That is going to be an easy take for Houston here on Control Center.
Linkser may have gotten the kill, Doa, but that was a setup from the charge of Muma onto Kalios. So that was the initial strike that caused that snowball to start rolling. Linkser waiting on the Graviton here. Kalios will have one of his own. We're going to see 2 Graviton and Coalescence combos.
There's some backcapping going on right now, too, for Boston. They got to get back and handle it. Oh, but there's a Graviton. The sound barrier dropped as well. Linkser in a bit of trouble. Both Zarya's falling. It's a brawl, and Coolmat trying to escape it here. Meanwhile, Boston has nearly taken half the point. Looks like Houston gets back in time, but Jake does fall. There's a stick. Oh, but it's on the outside of the shield. No, never mind. Muma took enough damage. That's going to be a finish from Striker, and Boston flips it back. They will take a little bit of percentage here.
Yes, they will. They're going to get the point because of that back cap. They scatter the Houston Outlaws, force half the team back while simultaneously hitting them with the Grav Coalescence combo. So Striker makes the opportunity that Boston needed in order to push onto the point itself. Still looking to harass this back line, is going to be forced out, zoned out by Coolmat. Gamsu held onto his Earth Shatter. throughout that cleanup, so he's going to have that tool available to him.
Yeah, Gamsu waiting. Gotta check those corners. No, he's just gonna go in. Whoa, Earthshatter blocked though. Muma manages to stop that one. Linkser does fall though. Gamsu deep behind enemy lines, and he's gonna get smacked down by Muma's Fire Strike. Houston charging back in now. Can they push Boston off of this one? They're trying their best. Kalios low, gets some healing from the Coalescence at the very end there. Jake, meanwhile, fighting off Striker here. That pressure from the Tracer certainly scary for the Junkrat to deal with.
Shatter!
Oh, that's a big one. That's another 3 or 4 man Earthshatter. The charge right into Kalios. And Muma has just been rocking Boston's world on this Reinhardt so far. There goes Kelix, and I think this point is going to belong to Outlaws very soon.
Oh, man, the trap 2 catches Striker at the end.
Yep.
Kalios, though, has been charging these grabs efficiently on the side of Boston. In Korea, he was known as a strong Zarya specialist. He has a chance to play that again now.
Sure enough. Yeah, last time they were able to pair that with a sound barrier again to just give themselves some extra durability. They're not going to have it from Kelix this time, but they do have a couple other ultimates to work with. You could go for the bigger bang along with the Diva ultimate. All right, Muma backs out of the fight right there. Houston trying to hold on the point. Trying to zone out Kalios, saying no, he's got that Graviton Surge. You gotta know he's got it by now. Could be a problem. That's a sound barrier, or rather, Raucus uses a Transcendence instead, trying to keep people alive. Healing onto Muma after he gets stuck with that Pulse Bomb again. Striker and Gamsu fall, so Houston weathering the storm so far. Kalios charged up, but he's gotta go backwards, and he's gonna get chased down and taken out. Raucus with a really great Coalescence there, staying out of range of the Graviton field and Graviton Surge and keeping everybody healed up.
That was the critical play because they tried to Pulse Bomb into the mix and they tried to self-destruct as well to combo it up, and it didn't work. Now we're going to see them get stuck on the outside of the wall.
Yeah, it's a little stall from Houston, but they didn't get any kills out of it. Now Striker in trouble. Oh, that one got blocked, and Muma trying to get away, charging back to the point. No, they can't get to it. What? Boston does not even make it to the point, despite Gamsu carrying Muma all the way back there, but that's going to be one going to Houston.
Striker died on the point to some Junkrat grenades that we saw Jake spamming onto it while he was attempting to back tap.
Wow.
So there had to be a start on that fight in a 5 versus 6.
That's crazy. That was a crazy end to that one. But, you know, you got to give a little bit of credit to Houston at the end of that fight. They used that Graviton Surge to kind of keep everybody sort of caught up near spawn, and that kind of bought them enough time.
Yeah, force out the sound barrier as well, so they weren't going to be able to have the overshield as they were fighting on the point itself. We are going to be on to Night Market here.
Indeed. Jake needs a bit of healing to start things off again. He's back on the Tracer this time. Looks like it's going to be some pretty classic dive from Boston here, running the Genji and the Tracer themselves. Striker with 2 right off the bat. Whoa, that's a big flank, and that's a big win already from Boston. They've got 3. And Boink running for his life now, getting a little bit low, and Striker will grab himself yet another kill. That will be the point going over to Boston early on.
That was great play by Striker. He snuck around here. He knows they're just trying to poke into the point with the Soldier, and so look at that collapse.
Yeah.
Great play calling from the Boston Uprising. They dive immediately as Striker starts harassing them from the opposite side. The flank is very effective, and Boston will start to get their control percentage up. Jake is now keen to take out Striker from this fight. He knows that he's going to be trying that flank again.
More Tracer dueling going on between Jake and Striker.
That's the difference. You can't collapse with the if the Tracer is occupied. Meanwhile, you still have the poke advantage with the Soldier.
True. Boston Uprising trying to defend against Houston now. Houston definitely getting shoved back a bit. Coolmat demeched already, and Muma down. Now that push over before it begins, and Houston gonna have to try to come back with a few ultimates next time.
Striker found himself back in the mix. Jake lost track of him and couldn't keep up the harassment. So again, they wait patiently for the opportunity to dive in there. Their tanks, once Striker manages to get on top of the Soldier. So Lynx are having a lot of trouble staying alive here.
A lot of members of Houston, in fact. Striker hiding. I don't know if plastic stools give you a lot of protection, but He's stealthy at least. Neko down early, Jake, with a kill on that Tracer. Striker coming in from behind. He's got the pulse bomb. There's a Transcendence. Just got to wait that one out again. Houston trying to use the opportunity to get onto the point right now. Striker's still on the outside, trying to just delay as long as he can here. Muma hops way up in the air, but Linkser in the tertiary of this fight getting tons and tons of kills. As Striker just delaying here, but I think it's wise to save that pulse bomb.
That time, Houston did not wait for Striker to come in. They just ran it directly into the point themselves.
Yeah.
Jake got some great value kills at the start of things, and they only have to use the Transcendence. So Houston maintaining most of their ultimate economy right now.
That's right. Now they got to handle Boston, trying to get back onto the point. It's going to be a Primal Rage from Muma. Self-destruct over the top here, and they're going to catch Kelix with it. Big one for Coolmat to take down the Lucio. And Muma getting some boops, maybe just getting some straight-up kills with that Primal Rage. Either way,
he knocked Gamsu off the map, and he totally denied the Transcendence at the same time. Great rage from Muma.
Indeed. Linkser just coming in with some finishing touches, but he's going to have to back away as Boston still holding in that little room, but that's okay. Houston just needs to buy time. They've got a lot of catching up to do as Boston already has 83%.
Dreamcasper still with the blade, though. Boston lost that fight nearly instantly as a result of the Primal Rage. Point will have the sound barrier now. Jake didn't use the pulse bomb, so a couple of ults available now to Houston for this defense, but see Boston's already on the point.
Yeah, that's right. They're going to drop the sound barrier, and that's the cue for Dreamcasper to come in with the Dragon Blade. Sound barrier, though, from the Houston side, and he can't get a lot of slashing done. He will get taken out by Linkser instead, and now Houston back on there with the Transcendence, but there's a pulse bomb onto Kalios, and Houston, they look like they may be able to hold this one. Striker takes down Raucus. It's kind of even up, and wow, Striker maybe turning this one around here.
A distraction from the Primal Rage may be enough, Doa. Coolmat trying to remake, and he is actually going to get there right on the corner.
So close, man. But as soon, well, okay, they've got the tanks back again. Muma and Coolmat there. Boink trying to keep everybody up. Gamsu just trying to hold it. Man, that one hurts for Boston. You get so close. But now with the finishing blows from Linkser, with that tack visor, they're pushing him back. Overtime ticking away. Oh, and that Helix rocket punishing Striker as he comes through the door. Kelix with some last second delaying here, but we're well into overtime. Dreamcasper once again, but you're never gonna get all 6 on the point again. Getting a little bit of healing here, but Gamsu taken out. Overtime, ticking away. Kalios back there. We're not done yet, guys. That's a self-destruct. Everybody's got to hide. No kills from that. But again, it buys time. Dreamcasper has managed to stay alive. In fact, Boink does go down here. They've nearly got the point flipped. That's right, the Dragon Blade. Oh, but Jake denies it, and Dreamcasper down. There goes Kelix. That bar's got to drop instantly as soon as anyone gets off at this point.
Yeah, they
from
gotta
Boston.
Get Gamsu, though, and that should be it. That's going to be it, Doa.
Man, that one lasted a while. What a crazy last fight, but Houston manages to pull out the 2-0 win on Lijiang Tower. They move up to 2-0 on the series as well.
And at the end there, had Gamsu been able to knock Coolmat off the map after Coolmat self-destructed, had he killed him before he could remake, that may have made a huge difference, but Coolmat barely stays on the terrain. Beautiful from Linkser. That guy knows it.
That was sick. Oh man, so many good earth shadows from Movement too. Don't go anywhere, guys. When we come back, it is halftime. We will see you then.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's best unlimited network. Omened by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League. And by Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League.
If you're bronze or grandmaster, I don't care. Welcome back to the Blizzard Arena, ladies and gentlemen. We got that kid who got boosted out of bronze. Shout out to you, Valiant fan. Let's talk about the games at hand, though. We've got, of course, the Houston Outlaws up 2-0 over Boston. And I want to start here with you, Bren. When you were seeing this matchup on paper, we knew it happened back at stage 1. What were you looking forward to here in the rematch?
Yeah, in the rematch in general, I was looking forward to good tank play, right? Is what I really pinned this game down to. It's all about the tanks, and that's going to be the commonality between every game that we see in stage 2, I feel, right now. And I've got a great insights powered by Intel as well that can just really sort of break down and show you exactly what's what with this. So this was the winning Boston Uprising push on Hanamura. And the one thing you need to look out for here is Cool Matt, he's not in his mech. Now that's a big no-no because that means he's the only line of defense from between Boston actually diving onto the back lines and killing these supports and them surviving. He needs to be able to be in his mech so he can use his boop to save them. Instead, he's not in it. He's not going to be able to defend them. So Boston, they've got a clean sight line right into the back lines, and we can just play this out nice and simple. They use the soundbar to just get that bit of extra health. Dreamcasper uses the blade. The only thing that can stop him there is a sleep dart, which unfortunately doesn't come out, and Dreamcasper just cleans up, taking that first point. And you can see it here as well from the first person. Because Clockwork only just gets into his mech, there's nothing to get him off those back lines, and that is the reoccurring theme. And that's our insights powered by Intel. And the reoccurring theme of this entire stage 2, I feel like, is going to be the tank play. A lot of these games are going to be decided if your tanks are up, if they're performing well.
I love seeing Linkser as well, if you guys are watching Hanamura, upstairs challenging up-close fights because he knows Muma is there to peel for the Houston Outlaws. Let's talk a little bit about these ultimates, though. If you're a DPS player, do you have to wait for D.Va to be out of mech? Do you have to wait for one of the tanks to be down completely before you can jump in this meta?
Kind of, actually. So especially if you're playing Soldier, a lot of the time you're looking for the tank's abilities that will dislodge you or make things a problem for you. So very simply, Transcendence is one, but here when you are playing a Soldier, you're looking out for D.Va's movement ability. You want to make sure that her movement is down so that she just can't run straight at your face. Mech, or rather the defense matrix is also one that you're looking out for. You're looking out for bubbles, so keeping track of the cooldowns of every hero's abilities is a huge part of Overwatch to know what windows of opportunity you really have, and that's when we talk about the patience of certain teams, that they wait for these cooldowns to be off so that they can get the most value out of their own individual abilities.
If you could sum up this game in particular as we look at the general highlights, what was the difference maker? Why does Houston walk away with the W?
In general, I mean, it's got to be... I hate to constantly hit on the exact same point, but Muma and Coolmat are just absolutely ridiculous tank players. And it's also the fact as well that they were prioritizing bringing down Gamsu in a lot of these fights as well. Gamsu was constantly being focused down. If you take out the Winston, suddenly your front line is gone. You don't really have that bubble to protect you as well anymore, the shield that he lays down. So you're going to be missing a lot of... crucial ingredients to create a good dive composition.
Well, I think they're recognizing how much space Gamsu creates for their team, that if he's not being a part of these dives, the DPS from Boston are going to be struggling way more than usual.
How do you keep Gamsu up more in the future?
I think it's, I mean, the Boston sort of play style is a little bit more conservative, and they've sort of chucked a little bit of that out the window because Mercy isn't in the metagame anymore. And I feel like, I mean, you can play a little bit more conservative. You can maybe try and back him up a little bit more with the defense matrix from your D.Va player, you know, Kalios or no, whoever that may be, whoever they choose to sub in for this next game. It's just focusing on that. Survivability is really key in these matches to get the edge over Houston Outlaws.
Let's talk about game number 2. Now, Control, always one of our favorites to watch here. The individual play is always on show, but this time around I felt like we were watching some great teamwork, some really strong chemistry, and some fantastic tank play coming in from the Houston Outlaws. Let's take a look at some of the Muma moments from this game, because he does it all from Winston to Reinhardt. He seemed to be on top of the tank
Look at the
game.
timing of it, right? He knows he's got 2 swings before he can go for the charge, because he knows that he's got just enough time before they get back up, utilizing the Fire Strike to just finish people off, getting that charge. And this was another game-winning moment. You're booping the other Winston off the side of the map. How much better can it get than that? You're not just focusing, you're taking him out in one blow.
The guy is just absolutely ridiculous at most things he does. And I'm not just saying that because I am his mate. I am just saying it also because he is very good at the game. It goes hand in hand. I remember way back, you know, Muma...
Being your friend and being good at the game go hand in hand?
They do. I mean, if you're friends with me, you end up winning. I mean,
how it works.
It's weird how that works, isn't it? No, but in general, like, this guy, Muma, has been grafting, he's been grinding throughout his entire Overwatch career, constantly been farming up these skills. And Reinhardt is one of these sort of lesser-known heroes that he's known for because we've been in the Winston metagame for so long. But when he does whip out the Reinhardt, people are surprised. But he was building up Earth Shatters constantly.
Before the point unlocked.
Before the point unlocked, he had an Earth Shatter and he laid it down. It's just ridiculous stuff.
Question, final point. We saw the Earth Shatter coming in from Muma as Gamsu had charged him and brought him all the way back. Was that a stall Earth Shatter or a rare miss from Muma?
I think it was a complete stall move from the Houston Outlaws. Because remember, they threw out the grab earlier. They're trying to pick a fight way outside of the point, so you're forcing Boston to have to scramble past it. You're forcing members to ignore the fight and participate in taking the point, so you're putting them in a catch-22. Either you take the fight or you go to the point. Both are going to be an unfavorable situation because of the timing of the 99% take on overtime. So I think it was just a good play by them.
All right, that is going to do it for our halftime coverage so far. Houston in the lead 2-0. They already took down London. Will they be able to defeat Boston? Kings Row is coming up next when we come back.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places.
The Houston Outlaws are up 2-0 on the Boston Uprising. You know what? I am pretty sure it is in the back of the Houston Outlaws' mind that they won a 4-0 this match because it was actually the Boston Uprising who they were neck and neck with at the end of last stage. That map differential, it plays a big part in the standings when it's all said and done. Anyways, we got a whole half to go. Yo, Blizzard Arena, you still with me here? They're with me, all right. Well, let's go ahead and get into this next half and send it on over to our casters, Monty and Doa.
Thank you, Malik. We will tower over the crowd. That's right. Hello, my people.
A modest cheer.
I will go now. Goodbye. That's it. All right, I'm back. All right, guys. It is time we have an elevator installed here. Come on. And get taller, too.
It's a trapdoor so I can get rid of you in the middle of team fights.
There you go. You just hit the button and I just drop out. Yeah. He's got one of those at his home, too, for when his minions displease him.
That's right. It doesn't work very well unless they stand directly over it, however.
That's true. Got to lure him in there. Note, subbing in for Striker. That's right. Interesting choice. Bringing in a bit of an off-tank player. And then Spree. He is subbing in.
Yep, it was close.
For not ban.
Yeah. Spree will be in for Cool Matt, of course.
That's right.
And
Cool
this is what we saw from the Outlaws.
There we go.
Kings Row is the only map we've seen the Outlaws play out of the map pool today, previously this week. And they did bring in Spree. He had a fantastic performance on that Zarya.
Right.
So not surprising to see him come back in. But what is surprising is that we have the substitution made on the side of Boston. So it seems like they will be running a triple tank approach. Again, Kalia is known for his Zarya play. If you're going to be bringing in Note, probably means that you are going to be playing Diva and Zarya simultaneously, but that may lock them in to a more limited range of compositions.
I wonder. I mean, Kings Row is definitely one of those maps where the triple tank, the quad tank has been pretty popular for pretty much as long as the game has existed. So no surprise to see Spree and Note coming in for this one. But it's like Malik said, man. I mean, Boston really needs to kind of pick up the pace if they want to try to force a tiebreaker map 5 on Ilios. They're down 0-2 in this match right now. Houston Outlaws looking like they're going to continue their very strong start here in stage 2.
Well, you have to be super impressed with the Outlaws' performance on Kings Row, and I think it's going to make it very difficult. The Outlaws capped all 3 points in 3 minutes and 27 seconds in their last match, which is just ridiculous. And they did it running an interesting composition. They ran Hanzo, Junkrat, Reinhardt, Zarya, Ana, and Lucio on their attack.
Yeah, they did it versus London, too.
Yeah, that is...
I don't think this Torb's going to stick around.
No, it certainly won't. Boink is back on Lucio duty. Muma, of course, pretending to be Symmetra for a very brief period of time.
Yeah. Rock is just kind of hanging out there. He's like, welcome to the point. That's right. Whenever he does a Naruto run. How about that?
Well, this is
about Moira. There we go. Yeah. Thanks for the demonstration.
This is the same defense that Houston used against London. So trying to play a long-range poke game, attempting to punish any mass tank compositions that come onto the point.
True.
By using the Reinhardt and the Junkrat together. In Boston, Uprising will be doing what is expected, except for Mr. Dream Casper on the Doomfist.
Oh, baby, it's Doomfist time. Boston trying something a bit different here as they come into point A. On Kings Row, you can kind of bust right through the Reinhardt shields with that rocket punch. Let's see if that's the plan.
Yeah, you want to corral them.
Oh, yeah, right in the Muma.
Right there. So pushing them back off the point. Needs to wait for that rocket fist again. You're going to try and avoid it. Actually misses.
Well, he got the uppercut, though, turning it around. Gets out of the fray, at least. Enough time to gain a bit of life. That's already one tick. Ooh, runs into the stairs there, but he's going to back off. A little bit of damage from Jake. He's going to need to be careful there. He's in the trap. That's a problem. 16 HP, and he barely gets back to the healing orbs or healing darts of Neko, I guess.
So that could have worked, but Houston played it well. They weren't close enough to get pinned into the wall by the rocket punch. Kalios is playing a very dangerous game.
Yes, he is. That's a bold place to be right now, but he manages to stay there until his team comes back in.
Gamsu
with the charge. That's right. Dreamcasper takes out Linkser too. This is a big chance for Boston. It looks like they're winning this fight so far. High ground taken by Kalios. Going to go around the outside. Oh, Dreamcasper! You can't rocket punch a rocket hammer, man.
Well, he can. He won. They killed each other with a fire strike and the rocket punch.
We'll call it a draw.
We'll call it a draw.
That's right. Well, either way, the point taken by Boston. They will get the payload moving.
So that is a really interesting adaptation. They knew exactly how Houston was going to be defending in the back corner and decided to try and punish it by hiding behind the Reinhardt shield. Gives you time to charge up the rocket punch and then get a strong punish, punching somebody into the wall. It's creative, that's for sure, and it ended up working. Now, are you ready for the Space Jam, Noah?
Yeah, I think we are. Here we go. Come on and slam. Where is it? Oh, no, not on the Houston side. There is the tire. So I have the space tire instead.
So
the space race, maybe?
So they decided not to use their ults after getting caught in the graviton.
I
Which
wouldn't
is a wise idea. They draw 2 out. Now, when we say Space Jam, what we mean is the graviton combo with the meteor strike.
That's right.
Which is something we saw a lot of in the early parts of Contenders, but it has been absent with Doomfist and Zarya, not really in the meta, but we're going to see it here, Doa.
If it works out, the other team gets dunked, that's for sure. Dreamcasper coming in. He's going to say live, there we go, come on and slam, and welcome to the jail. He missed. Oh, come on. I set you up so nicely, Dreamcasper.
He didn't miss. They had a sound barrier on them, Doa, so there wasn't the damage down.
Now he landed on the high ground, too. That doesn't matter, though. They come in. Gamsu wades in through that one, and Boston gonna get that payload moving.
Woo. The ult combos have been fun at the start of stage 2. We're seeing a lot more ult combinations used in this current meta with the amount of tanks and crowd control ults that are available. Gamsu cleans it up with a great shatter.
That's right. Well, it's been a blazing speed so far from Boston here on Kings Row. Dreamcasper making his presence felt on that Doomfist, no doubt about it. Is there any hero this guy can't play, by the way?
He's way up there in terms of hero pool in this league, Doa.
True enough. The links for the kill onto Kelix here. Sleep Dart
Nice
comes
dart.
in onto Mumu, gets woken up right away, though. That's a problem. Coalescence from Houston trying to keep everybody up, and they will push Boston back. Finally, Boston slowed down for perhaps the first time in this round.
Well, Boston dumped a lot of ultimates just to push through that point B and get that team wiped. So now they have an opportunity to change. Dreamcasper moving over to the Widowmaker now.
Interesting.
And now back to the McCree. So not liking what he sees. It's probably better to be off the Widow for this final point.
True.
Lynx are already on the McCree, already with the Deadeye.
Yeah, he got that pretty quick. Houston pulling back just a little bit. You don't really want to fight on that ramp specifically. Usually it's just around the corner.
And a
here where
boost
you
out
do
of
it.
Gamsu, they're going in.
All right, Deadeye time. Gamsu, ooh, gets the shield up just in time. Can they break it? Kelix gets 2. Oh, and there's a nice one on the Kalios. Goodbye, Dreamcasper, and Houston puts together a pretty strong defense, but they still need to pull back. The payload still keeps moving, and Boston will get it a little bit farther forward here.
Yeah, they keep on pushing now, so they're not actually able to play onto the payload itself. Houston waiting for their tanks to come back to actually defend the point. Coalescence, actually, it was not Coalescence, not coming out quite yet. That's the Zarya beam instead.
Yeah, that's right. Coalescence is the thick one. Oh, here we go, Earth Shatter. I think some of that got blocked, but oh, the tire taken out by Dreamcasper before it gets there. Now the Coalescence coming in. Gamsu gets the pin, but he also gets taken down. Graviton search for Boston, though, but not a lot of people left to take advantage of it. And
oh, that Graviton not used well by Boston at the end of the fight.
yeah,
Stagger is going to be coming through
big time.
at the end as Note has to throw himself off the map at the end.
He's just going to go hang out with the Omnic village down below there.
Unfortunately, that is fatal.
Well, not if you're Omnic. Maybe they'll.
I think if Zenyatta dumps up there, it's still fatal to him too.
Well, I mean, that's just because they don't
It's a
like him
one-way
for letting
trip.
Zenyatta die. I don't know. I don't get that lore.
Why? Wait. Why is that Zenyatta's fault?
I don't, because he wasn't there, man. If he would have been there, could have just right-clicked him. Gamsu coming in with the nano boost again. Whoa, bats Muma out of the air here. It's going to be Graviton Surge, and that's a double from Linkser with the Deadeye. Oh boy, that's a combo. Notes again on his own. Say hi to the Omnics for me.
Ruckus doing a very aggressive play and chase people down towards their spawn. We'll take a look at this one again. Caught around the edge of the corner and watch him wait for the shield to go down. Shield shatters with the Deadeye and grabs the kills behind it at the same time. Boston has been throwing out their ults hastily, a bit willy-nilly at the end of this point, and Houston has been holding despite struggling in their initial defense.
Oh, it's tire time. They're going to go ahead and get the D-Mech onto Note. And Jake makes an exit from the high ground there. Boink does fall, though. A couple kills coming in for Boston. Houston Outlaws scrambling a little bit. Lynx are trying to get back to spawn, just trying to get back to safety for the moment.
Oh, Dreamcasper swap to the Junkrat, and that means that Houston has a lot more trouble piling tanks onto the payload. He nearly has his Riptire. Is anybody even going to get there?
Oh, I don't know, man. They are so close to finishing this one. Gamsu really low. Oh, he gets a heal at the end. No, that was maybe, Nano Boost from Neko, actually, making him a little bit more durable here. Air Shatter comes in. There's a Graviton Surge onto Boink and Raucous as well. Spree kind of caught on his own on that Zarya
His
now.
Graviton was eaten by the D.Va, so no.
That's big.
Takes it out at the very end.
That's right, they will get it there. It was a struggle towards the end there on point C, but Boston still manages to complete a pretty solid attack round.
I mean, there was some really good play there, particularly when we saw the transition over to the Junkrat, because that punished Houston from playing so aggressively on the cart and got them through the end.
That's right. Well, let's listen in with Boston here to hear some of those comms.
I get to see. Go. 일단 아이가. I can't Junkrat. Lucio. Reloading. I'm looking for. Shatter. Huge shatter. Nice. More one. Right one. McCree. I chased Junkrat right side. McCree one. Nice. Okay, three card. Go.
So while the Doomfist combo didn't exactly get that huge team fight win, it did push Houston back and get them to kind of clump up in that hallway where they were easily dealt with afterwards.
Yeah, that was a great counter shatter by
yeah, for sure.
by Gamsu. Really did a good job of reading the shatter coming out from the Outlaws and then making sure he had insane value from his own. So it's actually going to be the Doomfist on defense here as well from Boston. So
okay,
they are really mixing up their looks today.
I mean, this is great, though, because this is kind of what Doomfist was built to do, right? He was built to go through that Reinhardt shield. That's right, he was built to doom, but he was built to cause doom, to bring doom to these big tank compositions. He was meant to kind of break it up from the beginning, you know, and now we're seeing him in that role, and so far so good for Boston.
And it looks like the Hanzo will be making a return from the Houston Outlaws. Might as well try that similar composition that was so effective against the London Spitfire. Boston will be ready for it.
Yep. Here we go. Jake coming in. And do you think they'll be expecting the Doomfist again here?
I would not be expecting it on defense. No.
Yeah. Oh, Calyx down early. That's a shot for Linkser. Needs a bit of healing here, but it's a good kill to begin things. Gamsu has to back away. I think his shield's pretty low at this point. Oh, Linkser going in for the melee on Reinhardt. That is bold, and Dreamcatcher will punish 2 kills for him already on that Doomfist as Boston pushes him back again. A pin for Gamsu. He goes deep, and that will be a team fight win for Uprising.
Take a
nap. You deserved it.
That was such a greedy play on the Gamsu. They had support within line of sight too, because they had the Ana Neko just healing him up in that position. So they're gonna be stymied on their first attack.
I feel like
Gamsu already with a shatter too. This is scary.
I wouldn't want to punch Reinhardt in the head with my bare fist. That sounds very painful. Doomfist, Rocket Fist loaded up. Oh, he gets pinned! Muma coming back down the stairs. Gamsu meanwhile, Nana Boost, that's a big one! Oh, play of the game! Oh,
Humanity, Noah!
That is the absolute worst place to be to get earth-shattered. Wow.
That was very satisfying to watch.
It was, wasn't it?
Reinhardt. As a great lover of playing Reinhardt, that's what my fantasies are made out of, Noah.
play the game there for sure, I think. Yep. Hallway, 4 people, no shields. It's earth-shatter time. Kalios now, it's Graviton Surge time, I think, for him. Gonna wait. Oh, uses it. Oh, that is a Riptire and a half. No comes back with 2. What is going on this map, man? Dreamcast, we're looking for more victims, but the ultimates are claiming everybody. Houston off of a 4-man Riptire from Jake.
Oh my, so they baited this because the Graviton forced everybody to walk forward here. Oh boy.
It was a beauty.
It was a beauty. It was the thing of beauty. We had back-to-back beautiful giant plays. Some great ultimate usage.
Yeah, I'm liking this meta. Okay with this.
It's been pretty entertaining to watch, so I can't complain. Dreamcaster is sneaking around the flank right now into the back of the card. He has his Meteor Strike up. We'll see if he can pick off a support.
All right. Round 1. Fight. Oh, Raucous in trouble, taken down immediately. What a combo. There's a Meteor Strike trying to find some more victims. Muma in trouble. Gonna get stomped on. Oh, gonna get knocked down, taken out. And it looks like Dreamcasper will get out cleanly. That was a nice individual play from the Doomfist.
Yeah, there wasn't a big ult combo he's going to be able to get there with Kalios having just used his Graviton Surge. So goes for the solo play, long flank around, deletes Raucus. Houston coming in with a ton of ults, though. They're going to the upper halls this time. Jake is the only one just spamming grenades through the choke point. Spree gonna look for this chance.
Oh, combo breaker! Dreamcasper caught as he tries to come in, and Spree waiting for an opportunity with that Graviton Surge. Charges on the Kalios right now, blowing up anyway, and they're gonna go and send the Dragon Strike through there too to try to push Boston back. Still waiting for that Zarya ultimate. They do not need it.
And decide not to use it in spite of having the Dragon Strike. And not going to be another ult combo there, saving it for the next time, but Jake will be happy to use that Graviton with a Riptire. Should he have the opportunity, or he'll just explode Neko off of a nice stagger on the spawn.
It's rough, dude. Oh, Houston gonna get a lot of distance on this payload now. Jake just spamming the choke. It's going to be so hard for Boston to push forward here.
Dreamcasper's coming back around on the Tracer again, so take a look at him. He's sneaking around that corner. He's going to try and delay this payload. Once his team is ready, Gamsu's in with the nano.
Yeah, that's right. Charges past, doesn't hit anybody. Meanwhile, the counter Earth Shatter comes in for Muma. Looks like they're going to use the Graviton Surge on Gamsu and Dreamcasper just to separate the Boston team. A lot of kills for Houston already. They barely keep Jake alive, and now Kalios a bit on his own. Goodbye, and Dreamcasper nearly the last man standing there. Neko and Kellex exiting that fight early, and man, that was just a great job of pulling apart the Boston team. They knew the flanks they were coming from, and they kind of kept them separated.
Right, I really like the use of the Graviton there because it neutralized the flank coming out of Boston. Meanwhile, the Nano Boost went on to Buma, and he was the one cleaning up the back line of the Boston Uprising. So, counter very effectively. Dreamcast going to try and come in right now.
Oh yeah, going for the big bang. Kills already coming in for Boston. They didn't even need that ultimate from Dreamcasper. And that's causing a lot of problems for Houston. Muma just getting delayed, getting taken out. Jake takes a dive, and Houston having to regroup. They've got about 3 minutes left, though, in their attack run.
I mean, you're going to be happy, though, if you're Houston. You look at Kalios using the Graviton Surge. Houston was already just waiting for an ult combo. The only thing they had up was the Dragon Strike from Linxer's Hanzo. So it's a bit of a patience. We're going to see some economy pushes here from the Outlaws.
Oh, they're going to send in the self-destruct. Catching anybody? No, not quite.
Big
Another Earth Shatter from Muma. They take down Kalios. Jake capitalizing. And there's that Dragon Strike again, just going right through the middle. No to bit on his own. Once more, going to get demeched and taken down. And now Jacob on that high ground. Ooh, got to avoid those bombs, man. Yeah, there's a Junkrat on the other side, too, dude.
He's going to get anti-healed as well by the Ana grenade. Linxer will take out Neko. So some real progress being made here right now by the Outlaws.
Yep.
Thanks to a lot of Muma's great shatter to start things up, and then he blocked Gamsu's shatter.
Well, Muma's definitely been winning the Reinhardt mind games for the most part here, man. Especially in the counter Reinhardt shatter department. Jake bringing in the tire, and he gets Gamsu. Sneaks that tire right behind the shield, and they're going to put the nano boost on the Note because of it. Note on the payload. They can just kind of wait that one out, it looks like. And Linxer still on that Hanzo, trying to find those shots. Note going to get demeched, it looks like. There's a last-minute Graviton Surge coming in for Houston. And the payload, oh, it's so close. 0.27 meters to go yet. Can they do it? There's the Dragon Strike to seal the deal. And that will be Houston finishing their attack run.
Couldn't have come up at a better time. You need a couple more meters, shoot that dragon right through the payload.
Yep, that worked. So, both teams completing their attack run. Looks like Houston completed it with 22 seconds more on the clock than Boston did.
But not a lot of time for either of these teams. This
No,
certainly could result in a draw, but Houston won't mind that because it will mean they win the match.
Yeah, exactly.
If they draw here. So Boston has to come out on top with a victory here on Kings Row. They want to keep it competitive through to the very end.
Yep, with 2 map wins already. A draw here would mean that Boston couldn't catch up in map wins no matter what happens on map 4. We'll see. Not a lot of time to work with, and I mean, we've all played this map in this situation on the ladder a lot, man. I mean, if you can get just a few ticks, you're generally pretty happy here. If you can take the point, you're usually golden. So we will see what Boston can do. They get to attack first.
So what is Dreamcasper going to play is the question. Do you go with the Doomfist again? Linkser is playing the McCree this time instead of the Soldier. So it looks like they're trying to flashbang the Doomfist as he comes in.
I think that's a good idea, man. Play a little bit of anti-Doomfist dive and just be safe, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you have the Zarya bubbles to deal with that as well. You have Junkrat traps, and you're going to have the flashbang now. So one extra tool, Dream Casper.
Oh, okay.
Will take his turn on the Japanese archer Hanzo.
Interesting. Here comes a Hanzo. All right, Sonic Arrow in just to kind of keep an eye on the back lines there. Houston trying to play around the hotel, it looks like. High ground for Dream Casper on that Hanzo. Boston taking a little bit of time already.
Can't let this tick go. They need to get on the point. Finally, Muma's able to start swinging away. Linkser gets dangerously low.
Oh,
he's dangerously dead.
Yeah, that's right. Boink follows soon, and Boston with a great start here on point A. This is devastating for Houston. Dream Casper really coming up big with this Hanzo. And Muma just playing a hammer fight in the hallway, and that's going to be the point taken by Boston. Man, that is really big with the amount of time they came into this one with.
Yeah, Houston scrambled, had to get back onto the point so quickly after being shoved off by the range of Dream Casper.
You know, the thing is, though, is the way the payload comes out on King's Row, they're pretty much in overtime already, having to wait for that one. So they are going to need to stick to this payload. If anybody leaves it, it's pretty much over.
It definitely is, so... Once again, Houston will be coming in. Jake nearly has the Riptire right now. Dragon Strike coming up very soon for Dream Casper. Linkser switching over to the Genji.
Well, if they can just knock them off the payload, that's the goal. You don't even need to get the kills. Nano boost onto Gamsu, the Dragon Strike coming through. Kelix and Boink, both Lucio's falling. Muma with the charge, Note alone on the point, and that may just do it. Can anyone get back? No, they can't. And so Boston takes point A, pushes the payload a little while. Certainly they would have liked to get it a bit farther, but again, taking point A with such a limited amount of time in the time bank is really big for them.
That's a great success on the attack from Boston. So with only a minute 26, they basically are daring the Houston Outlaws to take this on their first attack right now. Are they going to adjust to the Hanzo that might come out for the Houston Outlaws on their attack again? Linkser has played basically exclusively Hanzo on attack through two maps of King's Row so far, both today and versus London.
We'll see. This is where the tough choices happen, right? This is where, you know, you ask yourself, do we go for something with a lot of pick potential? Do we go for something that just grinds in there like the quad tank with Moira and Lucio? What do you choose? Right now, Houston has Linkser on that Genji, actually. Jake on the Widowmaker, so maybe going for a few picks. I don't know, that seems a bit dangerous.
Jake on Widow is something that we don't see, so this would be quite unique for the Houston Outlaws. It would be a new look for stage 2.
Okay, there we go.
The Junkrat, okay.
I'm glad he swapped. I mean, one, you've got the shields to shoot through, which is not great for Widow, and two, the angles on King's Row, it's going to be pretty tough to get any shots. So I think the Junkrat is the way to go. Linkser, though, still on that Genji, going to go for a little bit of diving. And Houston, they need to take point A, and they need to take it fast.
So, going to be the Junkrat as well for Boston on the defense, anticipating a slow push in. They need to kill these barriers as fast as possible, match the speed of barrier destruction, as the Houston Outlaws have with their own Junkrat.
Muma getting a little bit under pressure. Tried to charge out. Yeah, he didn't make it. They're going to have to go in anyway here.
Raucus is down already.
Oh, that's a big problem for Houston going up through the hallway. Muma, like this one before. Oh, he gets stunned, taken down. Well, actually, still up now taken down. And Boston will win this first fight. Houston going to be really scrambling when they come back.
Wow, Boston corralling them into that stairway and destroying them where they can't actually fight very effectively, especially when Muma is pinned with the help of the Zarya bubble to protect Gamsu in that engagement.
All right, Linkser will swap over that Widowmaker. Oh, nice! It's Clay Pigeon shooting for Linkser, man. They get popped up, and he takes them down. The picks are incoming, and Gamsu, if he falls, Houston has a chance. They may be able to actually take point A here. Note's going to try to delay as long as he can. He had the Zarya shield to slow him down, but he's not going to live much longer. Now the shots turn towards Kalios. Linkser using that ultimate to try to get a view of where Boston is. One tick already for Houston, but remember, they need to take the point.
The Riptire out right now. It's going to zone them off.
Yep, that's right. Oh, that tire has 8 HP. Can he sneak it in there? Oh, he gets Dream Casper. Okay. So they're going to have, well, not much of a man advantage, actually, because the payload, again, takes so long to come out. that no doubt Dream Casper is going to be back in time.
And Linkser is swapping to Mei now, Doa, so he's going to be trying to wall people off in the streets. Mei has great pick potential if you try and approach her in these narrow corridors, and Linkser knows he doesn't have to go very far, so one pick with the Mei could be the difference here.
Yeah, this is nuts right now, man. I mean, we're into overtime, and Boston has a ton of ultimates to use coming into this one.
Kalios is flanking with the Graviton right now. He's coming all the way around the back.
That could be big if he can get there in time. The payload nearly to the point already. Now Graviton searching for Houston. They're going to force him off there. Apocalyptic team fight coming in. Note gets Raucous with the self-destruct. Houston loses one. They need to win. Oh, that Earth Shatter from Muma may have done it. Neko falls. Note, no more shield for him, man, on that Diva. He's super low, but Gamsu charges right back in again. Raucous trying to keep people up with that Transcendence as he comes back. No, he's just swapped onto the Moira to get to the point instead. And Houston trying to grind this fight out. They nearly have it. There goes Kelix. The payload is moving. I don't think Boston can stop them. Houston will win Kings Row. What a crazy finish to that map.
What fantastic swaps we saw, Doa, from Linkser. Not committing to the Genji, realizing switch to the Widowmaker for A. They don't have the range to deal with me. Junkrat can't hurt me if I'm on the high ground. I can make the picks over the Reinhardt shield.
True.
Then, immediately over to the Mei. Kalios goes for the long flank. The great desperation play to stop them, but the Mei pick prevents the follow-up damage. The ice walls were fantastic. Great situational use of Mei from Linkser.
Oh, there's been a lot of great adaptability from Houston. All three maps we've seen from them so far today, and now this is just making this team even more of a scary opponent for everybody else in this league. One more map to go, guys. We'll be back in just a moment. See you then.
Don't go to the point. Don't dead. I'm dead. I'm really sweet. Kill the D-Man, we win! Kill the D-Man, we win! Back one, kill the D-Man, grab it! Line of shadow, be ready, be ready, be ready! Right side. Oh, point. He's dead. Oh no, he's one! Kill Ryan, he's gonna shatter me! He's one. Ryan's the one! Nice.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's best unlimited network. Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League. And by Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League.
a league that offers opportunity for talented competitors to test and push our assumptions about how the game is meant to be played.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are coming at you live from Los Angeles, California. Welcome to the Blizzard Arena.
That's right, in case you forgot, guys, this is the Overwatch League. We are here in Blizzard Arena right now. Well, we're at the Overwatch League. Now you know. You're welcome.
I was confused where I was in the middle of that.
That's what I'm here for. That's right. We are here at the Overwatch League. Guys, Houston up 3 games over Boston Uprising right now. But like we say every time, the last map counts. The map score is important. Striker back in. Subbing in for Note. Well, actually, Note's still in as well. It's kind of doing a little bit of musical chairs here.
Yes, it is the musical chairs. He has not gone anywhere. So it is actually Kalios out and Striker in, but changing their seating order.
That's very confusing, but don't worry about it. Boston is fielding 6 people, and that's the important thing. Meanwhile, on the Houston side, Cool Matt in for Spree, back in once again for our final map of this series. And Vanny, back in again for Boink. So there you go.
There we go, though. I mean, that was a really exciting match of Kings Row, much more competitive than the Kings Row game that the Outlaws played against the London Spitfire, and especially at the end there, love to see those kind of hero swaps and quick adjustments strategically from teams. Really worked out well.
That's a heartbreaker for Boston, man. I mean, when you take Kings Row with still a little time in the time bank and you push it a ways, you're like, all right, we're feeling pretty comfortable, but Houston, somehow, some way.
Kalios had the right idea, too, coming around for the flank. It was a really good setup from Boston, but unfortunately with the Maze swap, it did throw a wrench in the gears of the Boston plan.
That's right. Well, we are going to Gibraltar now for our final map of the series, a pure escort map. You just push the payload. You don't need to take any points, just push it.
Just push it.
Push it real good.
That's right, Dylan.
That's right. There you go. And so, whoever pushes it farther will win, generally. That's usually how these things work, but Boston, again, at least, if they can come away from this with a map win, they'll have something. And again, just like we saw at the end of the last stage, map wins really do become important. We had spaces being determined by a single map win or loss, so it's big.
Absolutely is. And Boston is, in spite of all their promise in Stage 1 and their rise through the ranks at the end, having a shot at the Stage 1 playoffs. In their last match, had they been able to beat the Houston Outlaws.
Bonnie, you're not for real. I don't believe you, man.
He's definitely not for real, but Boston, this would be a pretty shocking week for them if they went 0-8.
Yeah, it would be, actually.
Not 0-2 in matches and then 0-8 in map scores, because they looked like they were a team on the ascent.
Well, I mean, they were certainly living up to their name in Season 1. They were certainly uprising in this league, but, you know, now, I guess if they do go 0-8, you do whatever the opposite of uprising is.
Downfalling, I guess.
Downfalling, yeah, I guess.
Downsizing, maybe?
Downsizing. That's, hopefully not yet. That's grim, man.
That is grim.
Here we go. Houston on the defense. Boston Uprising on the attack. Desperate to come away with at least one map win here in Week 1. Trying to take that early high ground.
Yep, back to the Mercy Widowmaker combinations that we so often see on point A in these early games of Stage 2. Linkser will be on the Widowmaker on the defense, and Jake it'll be up to him to try and challenge Green Casper by using that Genji.
That's right. Gamsu is being careful here. Houston Outlaws probably going to fall back to that high ground. A few people over the server. Hey, all right. Widow v Widow goes Linkser's way. Does the Reds come in? I don't know if Kellex can get to him.
No, the rest of the team.
Doesn't look like it. Oh, Neko. Suddenly Linkser finding all the shots. Yeah, I meant it. All the shots. Kellex goes down on his way out. That's just going to slow Boston's regrouping down a bit more.
Tactical crouching from Linkser afterwards.
That's right. Well, it's a tea party for Boston.
It's a tea party.
You know what I mean.
I do know what you mean, Noah, and everybody else does too.
If you're picking up what I'm putting down. Here we go. Boston, again, trying to push the payload a little bit more. They can dive Linkser. That would certainly tend to a lot of their problems. Ooh, going for that shot. Out of Dreamcasper. The Widow duel is real. Oh, Kelix tries to get back to his ally, but picked out of the air by Linkser one more time, and there's another one. Linkser untouchable on this Widowmaker right now.
Just racking up the kills on supports and Widowmakers. Houston coming out with a very strong initial defense on Gibraltar. This is a map that Uprising lost when they played against the Philadelphia Fusion, and
there you go.
Outlaws certainly making a statement here in the first couple of minutes. Boston still has a pretty large amount of time to work with, but they haven't done anything besides force an infrasight out of Linkser, so
they've
Houston staying strong with their communication. Here comes the blade.
That's right, and there goes Kelix, cut down almost immediately. Jake on the way out. Oh, on the way out of this mortal coil, actually, he gets taken down, but Houston still managing to win the fight. And there's a res onto Jake to bring the Genji right back into the action. Dreamcasper does finally find a kill onto Linkser, though.
And that's a huge kill right now, Doa, because the spawns are going to take quite a bit of time. Boston should use this opportunity to make sure they get this point A attack done.
Amuma goes out and uses that Primal Rage. Jake got into the back lines and killed Neko, though, so Boston in a little bit of trouble already. They need to push us forward here. They've got a few ults to use.
All right, Linkser's back now, Doa, so he's standing on the low ground. Striker wants to deal with him right away.
Yeah, recall comes in. Striker thinking better of taking that duel, backs off just a bit, and there's Jake again harassing. This payload has not moved for a long, long time. Now finally edging forward here as Boston tries to finish point A, but they're already under a minute here. Tranquility coming in, Striker forcing that one out of Raucus. And maybe Neko using that Zen ult himself. But where is Boston? They need to get back on this point here. Neko goes down. Oh man, Jake pushed away, and now he's got the Dragon Blade.
He's going to come over the top with the blade right now, trying to deal with Dreamcasper, and he will take him out.
Wow, he tracked him down in midair. That is insane. Gamsu super low. Muma gets a double kill. He finished off Kelix as well. And Boston in a ton of trouble here. They may not even take point A.
Even with the advantage that they had when Linkser died, as they respawn faster, they never got on the payload, Doa.
Yeah.
Houston were stalling out the cart that entire fight until Linkser returned, so no real headway was made in spite of that power play.
Well, now's the time, man. Last second push. You got to get on the payload. You got to take point A and get cool, Matt. That's a good start for Striker. He was out of his mech. He was easy pickings. And now we're into OT, though. Banny, with that Valkyrie just coming up, might be able to cause some sort of fight that Houston can win. A lot of AoE healing coming out of that. He uses it already. Kelix Neko going down. Double support kills for Houston. And yeah, that's right. Without the supports, Houston may be able to finish this one. We'll see Striker doing his best, but he gets taken down by Linkser again. And that is it. A full hold for the Houston Outlaws. Dominating on defense.
We've seen some close maps in this series, though. That was not one of them. Houston manhandling the Boston Uprising, never giving them much of a window at all. And Banny, take a look at him right there, had some great Valkyries that saved his team. When they found themselves down a player on two separate occasions, it was his Valkyries that kept his teammates up long enough to get everybody back into the mix.
Yeah, I mean, Banny really kind of giving you a school lesson on how to play Mercy now in this meta. I mean, you play it safe. He got the reses at the right time where he wasn't putting himself in danger, and then waiting until he needed that big AoE healing to win that last fight, even though they were a little bit short-handed without Coolmat.
Yeah, and he was using the Mercy positioning so well, too, staying out of line of sight of the Widowmaker and just playing defensively while they waited for the respawns to come back and rejoin the team. So play out of line of sight, just heal up and play the payload first and foremost. And Boston scattered as they tried to approach the objective and couldn't really move the payload very far, even when they were coming in with some sizable edges.
That's right. So now Boston needs a pretty incredible defense here to win this map. That payload does not need to move very far for the Outlaws.
Does not. And Banny now going to be switching over to the Lucio.
Yeah, it's a dangerous place to put a ladder. All the way up on top there. I mean, what are you going to climb to?
That's right. I wonder where you are going to climb to.
It's a real safety hazard. Yikes. I mean, if all the rockets and gunfire weren't enough to worry about, that ladder is a real danger. Get OSHA on the phone or something.
I have to say, there doesn't seem to be a lot of concern with safety issues in the world of Overwatch.
Well, Gibraltar's supposed to be abandoned anyway in the lore, right? This is where Winston hangs out. I think so. All right, Boston on an aggressive defense. They need to get the ball rolling early. They need to get some pretty big picks.
I mean, they have to play aggressively right now.
Yep. Hello. Houston spots him in that hallway. Boston coming out now. Cool Matt demec'd almost instantly. Dreamcasper, down to Linkser already. Linkser trying to win this one. Oh, the duel goes to Striker, though. Couldn't get both DPS.
So previously, Doa, we did see a lot of attacking teams use a Sonic Arrow to start this map. So
True.
I'd like to see that again from teams because that you should be expecting the forward defense there. Doesn't stop them from keeping the payload moving all the same, thanks to a nice headshot from the side of Linkser, but well, it's the little things you appreciate.
Absolutely. All right, well, it's a little thing now for Houston to win this map. That payload is already almost there. Jake taken down by Dreamcasper, though, so Boston can maybe get a bit of stability here. Still 3 minutes, though, for Houston to come back and push this one. So Linkser just playing it safe, taking some shots on the Gamsu there, backing away now with the pressure coming in from Kalios, or from Note, rather. Oh, and Striker down. That's a shot that Linkser was looking for earlier. And can they push it the rest of the way? Oh, it's nearly there. Less than a meter to go. Gamsu getting a bit low. Cool Matt did get taken out, though. There goes Raucus, and now the Transcendence coming in. Boston might be able to make this one go just a bit longer.
Yeah, Boston holding well, but they have to use the Transcendence. So that's when it comes time for Houston to turn around and leave the payload. Tons of time remaining, and you accomplish your goal. You're coming back in with the double support ultimates, coupled with your Dragon Blade.
Yeah, and the Primal Rage, too. Muma's going to have that soon, and he can just bounce people away from the payload if worse comes to worse. So Outlaws with a lot of tools to end this one right here.
Try and get a pick off first using the Zenyatta.
Yeah,
Striker's up on that high ground. He has the trance to avoid the pulse bomb.
And need to do it. Oh, Linkser gets Kellic. So again, both supports down for Boston. Jake slicing away at Note on that Diva, and Linkser wins yet another duel against Dreamcasper. There it is. And the Houston Outlaws will 4-0 Boston Uprising.
And what do you do in that situation, Noah? You have to play the payload because it has such a low amount of distance to go.
Yeah.
But then you're dealing with a Transcendence and a Genji who's just dashing back and forth through it, and you must stay in the Dragon Blade death zone.
That is a tough one, man. Houston, though, coming out with a massive week one. 2-0 on the week. Some strong opponents dealt with. Rough times for Boston, but you have to imagine this team will be able to put it together at some point.
Absolutely. I think it's really surprising that Boston wasn't even able to take a map here.
I'm a bit surprised. Houston Outlaws, a team that was a force to be reckoned with in stage number 1, and they are wasting no time to give you that impression in stage 2. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be back with the desk right after this.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League. T-Mobile, America's best unlimited network. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
Hey, this is Zoe, and I'm now joined by Cool Matt from the Houston Outlaws. They did it! What a way to kick off stage 2, winning both their games. The first one against London Spitfire, which went all the way to map number 5 and was a joy to watch. And now a very convincing lead over the Boston Uprising. Now, teams are still figuring out the meta. We saw your team successfully executing dive as well as heavy tank comps. What plays more into your comfort zone?
We prefer like slower comps where we can control the flow of the game. The meta is still definitely developing. What we see right now is not what we're going to see in a few weeks. Personally, like I'm changing my playstyle every single match. Like I'm still really learning how to function without Mercy. Before it was kind of like Mercy would sit on me, I'm invincible, I kill everybody. But now I have to play a lot more defensively.
Yeah, no more S's for you, sir. I'm sorry. But if we're looking at the stage 2 as a general thing, what goals did you yourself and also your whole team set yourself for this stage?
Well, our only goal is to win. Like we know we can. We made it so far in stage 1. We proved everyone wrong, and we're going to keep that going.
Oh, we can't wait to see what you guys have in store for us next week. Thank you so much for joining me here down on the floor. We're now heading over to a desk to break down the game.
Thank you so much, Zoe. Keep it rolling for Cool Matt, guys. One of the best divas in the game, and he shows you he can do more than that. Welcome back to the desk, everybody. I'm your host, Puckett. We've got Bren, we've got Crumbs, and we got a lot of highlights to show you. And it all starts here with King's Row. For me, it's now my new favorite map to watch as a host of the show. What are you guys thinking of this map so far?
We had Doomfist, we had Hanzo, and it wasn't trolling. It was actually the well-executed compositions. How can you not love this map? Now that Zarya is back in, all these combos come to fruition, and as Cool Matt was mentioning, they've yet to evolve.
And speaking of those combos, we saw some alt combos coming in. Let's take a look at some of the biggest moments. You've been charging up the wheel the entire game for moments like this. Here's Gamsu showing what he can do on the Reinhardt, but it wasn't just the Rein show.
No, it was also the Graviton Surges coming out. We saw Dragon Strikes. We saw Riptides all over the place. And I mean, Reinhardt plays like this. That just really just gets me going, you know. That's the kind of stuff that you want to see when you hop into the matchmaking, when you're in your ranked games. You want to see plays like this. And I mean, this game did not disappoint in the slightest. An absolute array of ultimates being used all over the place. This was the 4K by Jake the Tire. Insane stuff throughout this game.
I mean, that's because you have so many heroes that set you up perfectly. Look at that one. Grab into bomb. That was actually countering the 4K. And this is, I think, the last push from the Houston Outlaws in OT with the nice switch to the Mei from Linkster.
It's an incredible rave that's going on right now. I mean, in general, King's Row produces these kind of games where often you'll see this clash, this finale, right? Two teams just smashing against each other with every single ultimate they've got. And often it comes down to who can execute these ultimates better at the right time. And in this case, it was Houston. They came out on top with King's Row, but for various reasons.
What are the reasons?
Well, we can go into that a little bit later.
Let's get into it right now. I want to start with you, Crumbs. When you were watching this map, what were you looking out for in Game 3 in particular?
So Game 3, when we went into overtime, it was a minute, right? A minute 30 at most for the time where you could crack that point. And the fact that Houston Outlaws tries with the Genji, immediately Linkster switches over into the Widowmaker, makes it work, then recognizes Widow no longer works, going to the Mei. I think that was what I was looking out for, because when you have such little time, you need to make these hero swaps very, very decisively. Otherwise, you only have one push. So the fact that they recognized that and went ahead and they succeeded with it was just sublime.
Let's take a look at that Mei play, because as you said, we rarely see Mei being used on the attack at least, and we see Linkster putting it to use. Bren, first off, explain the situation and how did he execute it well?
It's overtime, right? Linkster, he needs to make a swap. They were at an ultimate disadvantage, and he goes to Mei. Of all the heroes to go to, you might be wondering, why Mei? Why here? Why now on King's Row? But King's Row Row, the map, as you've seen it being played out, very narrow. You've got these little sort of choke points, and Linkser on the Mei, you can use the Ice Wall, you can force your team back, you can create space, essentially. Not only that, you can block off Self-Destructs, you can block off Graviton Surges, you can block off
only
Earth
that, you
Not
saw
only
the
that,
point longer than anybody else with your wall and your Ice
just a
Block.
great hero on King's Row on that particular section. Even when teams aren't in overtime, you still see them occasionally switch to the Mei pick because she is just so versatile on that one section.
If you ever run into Super Mei on the ladder, and she's around 2,700, she may be me. Look out for her. Nothing but Mei game time.
Nice pun on that one.
All right, well, we talked about Linkser being able to use Mei. They lock up Game 3 on King's Row, slowing down the opponent, putting up those walls. Game 4, though, he went with the damage from a distance. He was on fire with the Widow, and I feel like when you're watching Houston at their best, it's when Linkser is just taking faces.
Yeah, and I said this before, I said this earlier, Linkser, when he was at his best, in my opinion, was Contenders Season 1. And that's the exact same meta that we're seeing right now, and the guy just did not disappoint at all. I mean, look at this shots
He's even doing it with a certain kind of swagger. Every time he gets a headshot, does a little crouch himself. You know, he can't be there on top of the corpses, but he just does it on his own.
We saw Clockwork in the mix. We saw Jake in the mix. We've seen Houston excelling in Stage 2 maps, but let's real quickly hit Boston. They are now 0-8 in the new meta, in the new stage. What's going wrong for this squad? What do they need to fix before week 2?
I think they're really just running into some of the strongest teams so far. Houston is definitely a contender for top 3, and you've got Philly that just came out swinging like they're one of the best teams of all time right at this rate. And so the fact that they had to play against those two teams, unfortunately, makes them look way worse than I think they are.
Houston is now 2-0, and they also feature our player of the match, sponsored by Omen by HP. Roll the beautiful footage. It's not Linkser, it's Muma, the Tank King, to play today.
Yeah, in general, this guy, when does he not perform? I don't think there's been ever a game where he's not turning up, either on Winston or Reinhardt, but the man does it all. And like I said before, this guy, I've known him for quite some time, but way back in the day when he was playing for Gale Force, he was just grinding out these tanks, and now look at him here in the Overwatch League as one of the very best tanks in the western side of Overwatch.
Yeah, you could almost always make an argument for him being the player of the game in the Houston Outlaws. Just such a core factor for how this team likes to play, especially how he facilitates your DPS, and we just have to give it to him at this point. It builds up. It's boiling over.
6 deaths on the entire match. Does that seem right?
And the craziest part here, guys, is the limbs. He basically had double what we saw out of Cam2. You saw Houston focusing down the enemy tank as their own ran rampages through the Boston Uprising. Incredible performance from the Houston Outlaws. They're now 2-0 on Stage 2, but we still have another match to go. And before we get to that, guys, I want to get your thoughts. What should people be looking out for on the other side of this commercial break? We're going to see Shanghai Dragons going up against the Valiant.
I'm actually very buzzed for this game, and I say that in a non-joking way because Shanghai Dragons, they've been improving, they've been looking better and better, and Valiant, I'd hate to say it in front of the LA crowd, but they've been in a little bit of a slump right now. There's potential here for an upset, you know? You got the Shanghai Dragons, you got Valiant. I mean, you can boo me all you want.
Keep the booze coming! Keep the booze coming! That's going to do it for our post-game coverage. You can make fun of Brent in just a few moments. We'll be right back.